Across the vast expanse of the galaxy, a peculiar phenomenon was unfolding. Alien spaceships of all shapes and sizes were experiencing an unprecedented surge in malfunctions and breakdowns. From the sleek, dart-like vessels of the Zorgans to the massive, bulbous ships of the Klaxians, no race seemed immune to this perplexing problem. As the number of stranded ships grew, so did the frustration among the alien mechanics and engineers. Despite their advanced technology and centuries of experience, they found themselves unable to diagnose and repair the increasingly complex issues plaguing their vessels. Theories and speculation ran rampant, but no clear solution emerged. In the midst of this chaos, a whisper began to circulate through the interstellar grapevine. It spoke of a previously overlooked species, one that had long been dismissed as primitive and irrelevant in the grand scheme of the cosmos. The humans, it was said, possessed an uncanny ability to fix even the most stubborn of mechanical problems. At first, the notion was met with skepticism and derision. How could a race that had barely mastered interplanetary travel possibly hold the key to resolving the crisis? Yet, as desperation mounted and options dwindled, a few intrepid alien captains decided to take a chance on the humans. Word spread quickly of a small, unassuming repair station nestled in a remote corner of the galaxy. Run by a motley crew of human mechanics, it had long served as a last resort for the occasional wayward ship. Now, it found itself at the center of attention as alien vessels began to converge upon it in droves. The human mechanics, initially overwhelmed by the sudden influx of exotic spacecraft, soon rose to the challenge. Armed with nothing more than their wits, their tools, and an insatiable curiosity, they set to work on the alien ships with a determination that bordered on obsession. As the first few ships limped away from the station, their systems miraculously restored, the alien crews couldn't help but marvel at the ingenuity of their human saviors. The mechanics seemed to possess an intuitive understanding of machinery that transcended the boundaries of species and technology. News of the humans' success spread like wildfire, and soon, the once obscure repair station became the talk of the galaxy. Alien ships of all kinds began to flock to the station, each seeking the expertise of the humans who had proven themselves capable of fixing the unfixable. The humans, for their part, were thrilled by the opportunity to work on such advanced technology. They eagerly pored over the alien schematics, reverse engineering the systems, and adapting their own techniques to suit the unique challenges posed by each ship. As the line of ships waiting for repairs grew longer, the human mechanics found themselves working around the clock. They pushed themselves to their limits, driven by a sense of purpose and a thirst for knowledge. In the process, they began to unravel the mysteries of alien engineering, discovering new ways to optimize and enhance the systems they encountered. The alien crews, once skeptical, now looked upon the humans with a mix of awe and gratitude. They marveled at the speed and efficiency with which the mechanics worked, and they couldn't help but wonder what other surprises this unassuming species might have in store. And so, as the ships continued to stream in from all corners of the galaxy, the human repair station became a beacon of hope and a testament to the power of human ingenuity. Little did anyone know, however, that this was only the beginning of a story that would change the course of the universe itself. The day the first alien ship arrived at the human repair station started like any other. The mechanics were going about their usual tasks, tinkering with the handful of human-made ships that occasionally sought their services. Little did they know that their lives were about to change forever. The alien vessel was a sight to behold. It dwarfed the modest repair station, its sleek, silver hull gleaming in the starlight. The human mechanics gathered around, their jaws agape as they took in the sheer size and complexity of the ship. As the alien crew disembarked, they were greeted by a group of nervous but excited humans. The language barrier proved to be a challenge at first, but the aliens quickly produced a universal translator device that allowed for basic communication. The captain of the alien ship, a tall, slender being with luminous blue skin, explained their predicament. Their ship had suffered a catastrophic malfunction in their propulsion system, leaving them stranded far from their home world. They had heard rumors of the humans' ability to repair even the most advanced technology and had decided to take a chance on the small repair station. The human mechanics, though initially daunted by the prospect of working on such an alien vessel, quickly rose to the challenge. They divided into teams, each tackling a different section of the ship. They pored over the schematics provided by the aliens, trying to make sense of the unfamiliar symbols and diagrams. As they delved deeper into the ship's systems, the humans began to realize just how advanced the alien technology was. The propulsion system alone was light years ahead of anything they had ever seen. Yet, rather than being intimidated, the mechanics were invigorated by the opportunity to learn and grow. Days turned into weeks as the humans worked tirelessly on the alien ship. They encountered setbacks and obstacles at every turn, but they refused to give up. The alien crew watched in amazement as the humans used their ingenuity and resourcefulness to overcome each challenge. One of the human mechanics, a young prodigy named Lena, became particularly engrossed in the alien propulsion system. She spent long hours studying the schematics, trying to understand the underlying principles that made it work. Her dedication caught the attention of the alien captain, who began to spend more time with her, sharing knowledge and insights. As the repairs neared completion, the alien crew couldn't help but marvel at the skill and determination of the human mechanics. They had never encountered a species so adept at problem-solving and adaptation. The captain even offered to take some of the mechanics back to their home world to share their knowledge with their own engineers. When the day finally came for the alien ship to depart, the atmosphere was bittersweet. The human mechanics had grown fond of their alien guests and were sad to see them go. But they also knew that they had accomplished something extraordinary. They had not only repaired an alien ship, but they had also forged a bond between two species that would have been unthinkable just a short time ago. As the alien ship lifted off, the human mechanics watched with a sense of pride and wonder. They knew that they had been a part of something special, something that would change the course of history. And as word of their success spread across the galaxy, they couldn't help but wonder what other adventures and challenges lay ahead. Little did they know that this was only the beginning of a journey that would take them to the furthest reaches of the universe and beyond. For the human mechanics of the small repair station had proven themselves to be more than just skilled technicians. They were the key to unlocking the secrets of the cosmos itself. News of the successful repair of the first alien ship spread like wildfire across the galaxy. The human mechanics' ability to fix the advanced alien technology became the talk of every spaceport and trading hub. Alien captains and crews who had once scoffed at the idea of seeking help from such a primitive species now found themselves reconsidering their stance. As more and more alien ships began to make their way to the human repair station, the mechanics found themselves facing a new set of challenges. Each ship was unique, with its own quirks and complexities. The humans had to adapt quickly, learning on the job and relying on their wits to solve problems they had never encountered before. One such ship was a massive Klaxian freighter, its hull pockmarked with asteroid damage and its life support systems on the verge of collapse. The human mechanics worked around the clock, welding patches and rewiring circuits, fighting against time to save the lives of the crew on board. As they worked, the humans began to notice something strange. The alien technologies, while vastly different from their own, seemed to follow certain universal principles. Patterns emerged in the way the systems were designed, hinting at a deeper understanding of the universe that the humans had yet to grasp. Lena, the young prodigy who had taken a keen interest in the alien propulsion systems, became convinced that there was more to be learned from these ships than just how to fix them. She began to spend her free time studying the alien schematics, trying to decipher the secrets they held. As the weeks turned into months, the human repair station became a hub of activity. Ships from all corners of the galaxy converged on the small outpost, seeking the expertise of the human mechanics. The once quiet station buzzed with the sound of power tools and the chatter of alien languages. The humans found themselves learning more than just engineering skills. They began to pick up bits and pieces of alien languages, customs, and cultures. They formed friendships with the crews they worked with, swapping stories and sharing meals during the long repair jobs. One of the most memorable visitors to the station was a sleek, black ship belonging to a mysterious race known as the Shadowkin. The ship's captain, a tall, hooded figure with glowing red eyes, requested the humans' help with a delicate repair job that required a steady hand and a keen eye for detail. As the human mechanics worked on the Shadowkin ship, they couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. The captain hovered nearby, observing their every move with an intensity that was both unnerving and fascinating. When the job was finally complete, the Shadowkin captain surprised everyone by inviting the human mechanics to visit their homeworld. It was an unprecedented offer, one that spoke volumes about the trust and respect that the humans had earned among the alien races. As the human mechanics continued to take on new challenges and forge new alliances, they began to realize that their small repair station had become something much greater than they had ever imagined. They were no longer just fixing ships. They were building bridges between species and cultures that had once been divided by vast gulfs of space and time. And as word of their achievements continued to spread, drawing more and more ships to their doorstep, the human mechanics knew that they were on the cusp of something truly extraordinary. They had become the go-to problem solvers of the galaxy, and there was no telling where their newfound fame and expertise would take them next. As the human mechanics' reputation continued to grow, their small repair station became the most sought-after destination in the galaxy. Alien ships of all sizes and configurations began to line up, waiting for their chance to be serviced by the skilled hands of the humans. The once quiet corner of the galaxy where the station was located became a bustling hub of activity. A small settlement sprang up around the station, with alien merchants setting up shops and traders coming from far and wide to barter for goods and services. The human mechanics found themselves at the center of this galactic renaissance. They were no longer just repair technicians. They were diplomats, mediators, and problem solvers. Their unique blend of technical expertise and interpersonal skills made them invaluable to the alien races who sought their help. One day, a massive alien battleship limped into the station, its hull riddled with blaster marks and its engines on the verge of collapse. The ship belonged to the Zorgans, a fierce warrior race known for their aggressive tactics and advanced weaponry. The human mechanics quickly realized that this was no ordinary repair job. The Zorgan ship was equipped with technology far beyond anything they had ever seen before. The ship's captain, a grizzled veteran with a nasty scar across his face, made it clear that he expected nothing less than perfection from the humans. Undaunted by the challenge, the mechanics set to work. They pored over the ship's schematics, trying to make sense of the complex web of systems and subsystems. They worked around the clock, fueled by a determination to prove themselves worthy of the trust that had been placed in them. As the days turned into weeks, the humans began to make progress. They managed to repair the ship's engines and restore its weapon systems to full functionality. The Zorgan captain, who had initially been skeptical of the humans' abilities, found himself grudgingly impressed by their skill and dedication. When the job was finally complete, the Zorgan captain did something unexpected. He offered the human mechanics a contract to become the exclusive repair team for the Zorgan fleet. It was a lucrative offer, one that would have been unthinkable just a short time ago. The humans were torn. On one hand, the offer represented an incredible opportunity to expand their business and gain access to some of the most advanced technology in the galaxy. On the other hand, they knew that working for the Zorgans would come with its own set of challenges and moral dilemmas. In the end, they decided to accept the offer, but with a few conditions. They insisted on maintaining their independence and the right to refuse any job that went against their principles. The Zorgan captain, recognizing the value of the human skills, agreed to their terms. As news of the humans' new contract spread, other alien races began to take notice. Some saw it as a sign of the humans' growing influence and power, while others viewed it as a potential threat to their own interests. Regardless of how they were perceived, one thing was clear: the human mechanics had become a force to be reckoned with in the galaxy. Their skills and expertise were in high demand, and their reputation for excellence had earned them the respect and admiration of even the most advanced alien races. But as the humans settled into their new role as the go-to mechanics of the galaxy, they couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. Somewhere out there, hidden among the stars, there were those who saw the human success as a challenge to their own power and authority. And as the human mechanics continued to push the boundaries of what was possible, they knew that they would have to be ready for whatever challenges lay ahead. For in a galaxy full of wonders and dangers, only the strong and the skilled would survive. As the human mechanics continued to work on ships from across the galaxy, the aliens began to wonder what made them so successful. Many theories circulated among the various races, each trying to explain the humans' uncanny ability to repair even the most advanced technology. Some believed that the humans possessed a secret weapon, a hidden device or tool that allowed them to manipulate matter and energy in ways that no other race could. Others speculated that the humans had made a deal with some powerful entity, trading their souls for the knowledge and skills they needed to dominate the galaxy. But the truth was far simpler and yet more profound than any of the aliens could have imagined. The secret to the human success lay not in any external factor, but in the very nature of their species. Lena, the young prodigy who had become something of a celebrity among the alien races, was the first to put the pieces together. She had spent countless hours studying the alien technologies, trying to understand the underlying principles that governed their operation. What she discovered was that the aliens, for all their advanced knowledge and technology, tended to think in rigid, linear ways. They followed established protocols and procedures, relying on tried and true methods that had been passed down from generation to generation. The humans, on the other hand, were different. They were creative, adaptable, and willing to take risks. They approached problems from unconventional angles, using their imagination and ingenuity to find solutions that the aliens had never even considered. This ability to think outside the box, to improvise and innovate on the fly, was what set the humans apart. It allowed them to tackle challenges that would have stymied even the most advanced alien technicians. Lena shared her findings with the other mechanics, who were initially skeptical. But as they began to apply her insights to their work, they realized that she was onto something. By embracing their human nature, by letting their creativity and curiosity guide them, they were able to achieve things that had once seemed impossible. Word of Lena's discovery soon spread beyond the repair station, reaching the ears of the alien leaders who had come to rely on the human skills. Some were threatened by the idea that a primitive species could possess such a powerful advantage, while others saw it as an opportunity to learn and grow. One of the most intrigued by Lena's findings was the Shadowkin captain who had first invited the humans to visit their home world. He saw in the humans' unique perspective a key to unlocking the secrets of the universe itself. The captain arranged for Lena and a team of her fellow mechanics to visit the Shadowkin homeworld, where they would be given access to some of the most advanced technology in the galaxy. In exchange, the humans would share their knowledge and insights with the Shadowkin, helping them to develop new ways of thinking and problem-solving. As the humans prepared for their journey, they couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement and trepidation. They knew that they were on the cusp of something truly groundbreaking, a discovery that could change the course of the galaxy itself. But they also knew that their success had drawn the attention of those who might seek to exploit or destroy them. They would have to be careful, to guard their secrets closely, and to choose their allies wisely. For in a galaxy full of wonders and dangers, the humans' greatest strength was also their greatest vulnerability. They would have to use their creativity and adaptability not just to repair ships, but to navigate the complex web of politics and power that governed the stars. And as they set out on their new adventure, the human mechanics knew that they would have to rely on each other more than ever before. For in the end, it was their bond as a species, their shared humanity, that would be their ultimate weapon and their ultimate defense. As the human mechanics prepared for their journey to the Shadowkin homeworld, They were unaware that a sinister plot was unfolding in the shadows. Not all of the alien races were thrilled with the human success, and some saw their growing influence as a threat to their own power and authority. A group of disgruntled aliens, led by a ruthless Zorgan warlord named Crix, had begun to secretly conspire against the humans. They saw the humans' unique abilities as a challenge to their own supremacy, and they were determined to put an end to the upstart species' rise to power. Crix and his allies began to spread rumors and disinformation about the humans, painting them as a dangerous and unpredictable force that could not be trusted. They whispered in the ears of powerful alien leaders, stoking fears and prejudices that had long been simmering beneath the surface. At the same time, they began to sabotage the ships that the humans were working on, planting hidden defects and weaknesses that would cause them to fail at critical moments. They hoped that by undermining the humans' reputation as reliable mechanics, they could turn the galaxy against them and drive them back to their own primitive world. The humans, meanwhile, were blissfully unaware of the danger that lurked in the shadows. They continued to work tirelessly on the ships that came to their station, pouring their hearts and souls into every repair job. But as they prepared to embark on their journey to the Shadowkin homeworld, they began to notice strange things happening around the station. Tools went missing, blueprints were altered, and shipments of parts arrived late or not at all. At first, they chalked it up to the usual chaos and confusion of running a busy repair station. But as the incidents became more frequent and more serious, they began to suspect that something more sinister was at work. Lena, with her keen eye for detail and her uncanny ability to see patterns where others saw only chaos, was the first to put the pieces together. She noticed that the sabotage seemed to be targeted at specific ships and specific systems, as if someone was trying to send a message. She brought her concerns to the other mechanics, who were initially skeptical, but as they began to investigate further, they realized that she was right. Someone was deliberately trying to undermine their work, and they had to find out who and why. As they dug deeper, they began to uncover a web of intrigue and deception that stretched across the galaxy. They learned of Crix and his allies, and of their plot to destroy the humans' reputation and drive them back to their own world. They also learned that the Shadowkin captain who had invited them to his homeworld was not all that he seemed. He had his own agenda, and he was willing to use the humans as pawns in his own game of galactic chess. The humans knew that they were in over their heads, but they also knew that they could not back down. They had come too far, and too much was at stake. They had to find a way to stop Crix and his allies, and to protect the reputation that they had worked so hard to build. As they prepared to confront their enemies, the human mechanics knew that they would have to use all of their skills and all of their creativity to survive. They would have to think outside the box, to improvise and adapt in the face of overwhelming odds. And they would have to rely on each other more than ever before. For in the end, it was their bond as a species, their shared humanity, that would be their greatest strength and their greatest hope. The stage was set for a showdown that would determine the fate of the galaxy itself, and the human mechanics, the unlikely heroes of this story, were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As the human mechanics prepared to confront their enemies, they knew that they would have to be smart and strategic in their approach. They couldn't just rush in guns blazing. They had to find a way to outsmart Crix and his allies, and to turn their own weapons against them. Lena, who had become the de facto leader of the human resistance, came up with a plan. She proposed that they use their skills as mechanics to sabotage the ships of their enemies, just as Crix had done to them. But instead of planting hidden defects, they would use their knowledge of alien technology to create subtle weaknesses that would only become apparent at critical moments. The other mechanics were hesitant at first, but they soon saw the brilliance of Lena's plan. They began to work in secret, studying the schematics of Crix's ships and identifying the key systems that they could target. They also reached out to their alien allies, including the Shadowkin captain who had invited them to his homeworld. Despite his own agenda, The captain saw the value in helping the humans, and he agreed to provide them with the resources and information they needed to carry out their plan. As they worked, the humans began to realize that they were not just fighting for their own survival, but for the future of the galaxy itself. They saw how the alien races were divided and conflicted, how their petty rivalries and prejudices were holding them back from achieving their true potential. They knew that if they could succeed in defeating Crix and his allies, they could help to bring about a new era of cooperation and understanding among the alien races. They could show that diversity and difference were not weaknesses, but strengths, and that by working together, they could achieve things that none of them could accomplish alone. But first, they had to win the battle that lay ahead. They had to face Crix and his forces on their own turf, and they had to do it without revealing their true intentions. The day of the showdown arrived, and the human mechanics prepared themselves for the fight of their lives. They had modified their own ships with the same subtle weaknesses that they had planted in their enemies' vessels, hoping to use them as a last resort if all else failed. As they approached Crix's stronghold, they were met with a barrage of weapons fire and a swarm of enemy ships. But the humans were ready for them. They deployed their own weapons and defenses, using their knowledge of alien technology to anticipate and counter their enemies' moves. The battle raged for hours, with both sides taking heavy losses. But as the fighting wore on, the humans began to notice something strange. Crix's ships were beginning to malfunction, their systems failing at critical moments just as the humans had planned. The Zorgan warlord was caught off guard, unable to comprehend how his own technology could be turning against him. He ordered his forces to retreat, but it was too late. The humans had already gained the upper hand, and they pressed their advantage with everything they had. In the end, Crix was forced to surrender, his once mighty fleet reduced to a handful of battered and broken ships. The human mechanics had won the day, but they knew that their victory was only the beginning. They had shown the galaxy that they were not just skilled mechanics, but warriors and strategists as well. They had proven that they could hold their own against even the most powerful and advanced alien races, and that they were not to be underestimated. But more than that, they had shown that there was another way forward, a path that led not to conflict and division, but to cooperation and understanding. And as they looked to the future, they knew that they would have to work harder than ever to build the kind of galaxy that they wanted to see. In the aftermath of their victory over Crix and his allies, the human mechanics found themselves at the center of a new era of collaboration and cooperation among the alien races. Word of their bravery and ingenuity had spread throughout the galaxy, and many races that had once viewed them with suspicion or hostility now sought their friendship and alliance. The Shadowkin captain, who had once seen the humans as mere pawns in his own game, now recognized them as valuable partners and allies. He invited them to his home world, not as subordinates or servants, but as honored guests and equals. There, the humans met with leaders and representatives from many different alien races, each with their own unique cultures, technologies, and ways of thinking. They shared their knowledge and experiences, learning from each other and finding common ground in their shared desire for peace and prosperity. Lena, who had emerged as one of the most respected and influential members of the human delegation, played a key role in these discussions. She used her keen intellect and her ability to think outside the box to bridge the gaps between the different races, finding creative solutions to problems that had once seemed intractable. Under her guidance, the alien races began to work together in ways that they never had before. They shared their technologies and resources, pooling their knowledge and expertise to tackle the greatest challenges facing the galaxy. They worked to develop new sources of clean energy, to combat the spread of disease and hunger, and to explore the farthest reaches of the universe. They built great cities and monuments that stood as testaments to their shared achievements, and they forged bonds of friendship and trust that would endure for generations. As for the human mechanics, they found themselves at the forefront of this new era of collaboration. Their skills and knowledge were in high demand, and they were called upon to work on projects and missions that were beyond anything they had ever imagined. They helped to design and build new ships and stations, incorporating the best technologies and ideas from across the galaxy. They trained new generations of mechanics and engineers, passing on their knowledge and expertise to those who would carry on their legacy. And through it all, they remained true to the values and principles that had brought them to this point. They never forgot their humble beginnings or the challenges and obstacles they had overcome to get where they were. They knew that their greatest strength lay not in their individual skills or abilities, but in their ability to work together, to learn from each other, and to find common ground in the face of adversity. As they looked to the future, the human mechanics knew that there would be many more challenges and obstacles to overcome, but they also knew that they were not alone, and that they had the support and friendship of countless alien races who would come to see them as allies and partners. And so, as they set out on new adventures and new missions, they did so with a sense of hope and optimism, knowing that they were part of something greater than themselves, and that together they could achieve anything. Years later, when the story of the human mechanics and their incredible journey was told and retold throughout the galaxy, it was not just a story of their individual achievements, but of the power of collaboration, of the importance of diversity and difference, and of the boundless potential of the human spirit. And as new generations of mechanics and engineers, both human and alien, took up the mantle of their predecessors, they did so with the knowledge that they were part of a legacy that would endure for all time, a legacy of bravery, ingenuity, and the unshakable belief that anything was possible if they worked together.